Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another JVS movie review. Today we are bringing you the latest from Blumhouse Pictures, which is, I think this is the third kind of big release they've had this year. Maybe fourth. Maybe I'm skipping one. Invisible Man. Hmm. Oh, the movie with the movie that got pushed back with the evil Republicans and Democrats. I forgot that one. I'm clearly forgetting the name of it right now. That's how much it doesn't matter. Kevin Bacon's movie. And then this. I think I may be missing one. But today we are bringing you Freaky, starring, let's see, Vince Vaughn, Caitlin Newton. Yeah, I think those are the most important ones here. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Directed by Christopher Landon. Hey, I like him. I like him a lot. And it's odd that he directed this movie. Huh. Huh. Well, that's a great thing that he directed this movie. But I got sidetracked real quick, but let's get a quick synopsis of it. After swapping bodies with a deranged serial killer, a young girl in high school discovers she has less than 24 hours before the change becomes permanent. First, let me say this, okay? Bravo, Blumhouse. Bravo. I don't know how you managed to pull off Freaky Friday in a horror movie that is still highly enjoyable, but definitely not for children. It I'm amazed about that you pulled this movie off. I am amazed that you pulled this movie off. Before I even get into it, I'm just amazed that you pulled this movie off. So the movie starts with an amazing, gruesome, classic horror movie slasher scene. The first 5 minutes or so of this film sets up teens isolated at home. Killer shows up. Killer does killer things. I love the score here. I love the way it was set up here. It reminded me of every 80s slasher movie I had ever seen, and it perfectly sets the tone for what you're going to get in the rest of this movie. And then that's when we revealed that Vince Vaughn is the killer. Vince Vaughn is perfect as a killer. Perfect. Vince Vaughn is a giant of a man. So to have a giant of a man who happens to also be a really good actor and have amazing comedic timing, be a deranged killer at the beginning of this movie was great. And then after that, it turns into this teeny boppy type of happy film before we get that this killer is on the loose, killing these children. And then we get the body swap. I'm not going to tell you how you got the body swap, but once you get the body swap, to me, this movie goes to another level. Miss Newton, Mr. Vaughn, when they switch sides and we get to see different performances, we get to see Vince Vaughn at his comedic best at times in this movie. Miss Newton at her dramatic serial killering best at this movie. This movie is super silly, but it's so entertaining. This is one of the most entertaining horror movies I've seen this year. I was shocked. I was expecting this movie to be bad. And then being titled Freaky and knowing that it was based on the concept of Freaky Friday, but with in the horror movie world, I was like, this doesn't sound like something I'm gonna like. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I believe the direction is great in this movie. The plot is great in this movie. The storyline, everything. The way it's shot, its pacing, its score, like it works on every level. This could be the best Blumhouse movie this year. I'm thinking right now, I think this is the best Blumhouse movie this year. It just works on so many levels. It never takes itself too seriously. It has great jokes at times. It reminds me of just a great 90s horror movies. Like when after Scream came out and those vein of horror movies where it had comedic elements along with horror elements and the way it built on everything. Now this film has horror elements at the beginning of the film, but after the beginning of the film, the horror elements kind of get sidetracked for the comedic elements. But it still feels fine because it literally feels like a family film. And no, your family in no way, shape, form, or fashion should watch this film. But it feels like a family film. And the point that you pull off a horror movie that earns its R rating, but yet still feels like a family film, That's a talent. That's a talent that you can't beat. And that's what I loved about Freaky. I love the performances. Again, Mr. Vaughn was a great in this movie. So again, if you're a horror movie fan, if you're a Blumhouse fan, this is definitely for you. If you're a fan of classic Disney movies from the 90s, but you were born in the 90s, check this movie out. You'll like it. So, Freaky, brought to you again by Blumhouse and I think Universal. Out of a possible 10, I'm going to give Freaky an 8 out of 10. This is an amazingly good horror movie, but it's also a good comedy. So it's kind of, if I put it in the horror movie category, it will probably be the third best horror movie I've seen this year. If I put it in the comedic category, it's probably the best comedy I've seen this year. So again, those are high praises for a movie whose concept is as silly as this one is, but it works on both fronts. It works as a horror movie, it works as a comedy, and it's something at this point I've seen 5 times. I love this movie. I love it. I love it. So check it out. Freaky. I think it is currently available on all VOD platforms. So check it out when you can. It is still also playing in some theaters. So if you're in a city where theaters are still open and you're looking for something to go see, check out Freaky. I think you will really, really like it. So this has been another JVS movie review. Peace, people.